everyone, Ryan here, we're M&R Productions, and today I have a review of a very anticipated LEGO Star Wars Summer 2021 set. It's a 75310 Duel on Mandalore, aka Maul versus Ahsoka. With 147 pieces, this set retails for $20 in the US, which is the standard for a minifigure duel set like this. But honestly, as we'll talk about a little bit later in the review, $15 really would have fit the bill here for this set for what you're getting. The box art looks nice with the white greebling on the border, and then of course the 332nd Trooper signifying that this is a Clone Wars set. The side box art is present, always love that, and it just shows Maul and Ahsoka fighting again. And then on the back of the box, of course, your additional features, as well as just an additional layout of the build, which is shown on Mandalore just like it is in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. First thing to talk about, oddly enough, is the instruction manual, and what you may notice is it is extremely small. We don't usually get instruction manuals this small. I'm not sure if this is going to be a trend to come with LEGO Star Wars, or if this is specifically for this set because it's so small, but for this set, we have an incredibly small instruction manual. It's not a hindrance to the building experience, as you can still see all of the parts just fine. The first of the two figures in this set is Ahsoka Tano, and this is an Ahsoka Tano that is exactly the same as the Ahsoka Tano that we got in the 75283 AAT set in the summer of 2020. So seeing her return here in a set that's half the price is good, although she was already extremely accessible, so it's not like the $40 AAT was stopping anyone really from getting her, but she obviously makes a lot of sense in this set. Her head tail's, of course, still too long. They didn't make any new mold for that again, so if we're going from an accuracy point of view, kind of inaccurate. As far as the torso print, leg print, and waist print, those all look very, very good. Very continuous prints. Obviously, that's something that I always really love in my LEGO Star Wars minifigures. The back print and second face also look pretty good. She's got a more serious fighting face there versus her happier face on the front. And popping this back on, of course, it's a rubbery piece, so you don't really have to worry about it like snapping or anything if you were to maybe just pinch it too hard. I'm not really sure. She does include two lightsabers. I have one facing forward and one facing backward. They're just normal blue lightsabers, so nothing particular to write home about there. But of course, in a $20 set, getting Ahsoka is really awesome. And being a dual set, Ahsoka needs some opposition, and in this one, it's Darth Maul. His torso and leg piece are done in gunmetal gray, which I think look really, really good. It's one of my favorite LEGO colors. He does have an awesome ripped chest piece, so you can see some of his skin underneath the clothing there. Always love seeing that red peek through. It's a super detailed print with lots of prints all the way down to the feet there. Even Ahsoka doesn't have foot printing. Now, one of the big things about this Darth Maul figure that a lot of people kind of assumed would happen is that LEGO in 2020 came out with a new piece, and that piece was an extra long, essentially lightsaber hilt for the theme Monkey Kid. And myself and many other fans were hoping that this would transition over to LEGO Star Wars because it would make perfect sense for Darth Maul given that he has a bigger lightsaber hilt. It appears this has obviously not happened, and the rationale given is that kind of this lightsaber hilt piece is iconic. And while I do agree, and they obviously make use of it in a lot of other places, I don't see the reason we couldn't have gone to something that I would argue is more accurate for Darth Maul, but the LEGO designers decided not to do it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that. Anyway, the back print looks very good. Of course, he doesn't have a double-sided face because it's Darth Maul and it would be open and look very weird. My favorite things LEGO ever did, I believe in 2010, was add this little piece to give Darth Maul actual horns, and you can see that it looks absolutely incredible there. This is probably the best Darth Maul minifigure we've ever had. Maybe last year's Han Solo version in the book was very good, but yeah, this one is definitely up there with the best of them for Darth Maul. And especially in a $20 set, I think a lot of people are going to be thrilled to get this figure. The build of this set is pretty faithful to the source material. We of course have the Mandalorian Throne, which we've never had before in LEGO and is really cool to see here. And then we have the Mandalorian Vault, which, given its first appearance in Season 7 of the Clone Wars, we have also never had in LEGO. And very excited about both of these. Of course, they make great compliments to the characters Darth Maul and Ahsoka, but before we get any farther, I want to say that conceptually as a dual set, this one is a bit different. Typically with the dual sets, and we've had 3 or so of them at this point, you get a build that is essentially split into 2 halves that can come together or be taken apart. Like, it's just a more substantial build for these dual sets in the past than what we're seeing here. Now, I couldn't possibly come up with any ideas for how to expand this build, maybe other than just give it a little bit more space. But at that point, like, you've got the throne, like, you don't really need the extra side space. So like the build ends up being unfortunately a bit smaller than what we've seen in the other duel sets, although I think the minifigs make it worth the money. That being said, we'll take a look at the Vault first, which is my personal favorite sticker maybe ever in LEGO Star Wars. So this is a really great sticker piece that is put onto a clear window piece, and you're definitely going to want to take your time applying it. You don't want to mess it up. You got a control panel on the left side of that door, essentially, and it ends up looking really good. All the detail that you could possibly want on there is there. It's very accurate, looks really awesome. Now, we can actually place our Darth Maul figure inside of here, which I really, really love. So we got a couple studs there. We can drop him in, and just like that, he is stuck in the Mandalorian little prison vault thing here, and you can see his eyes through there. One of my favorite shots of the Clone Wars ever now is just Darth Maul's eyes beaming through the window on the Mandalorian vault here. So that looks great. No way to like actually lock it or anything if you were curious about that. It just opens and closes freely. Now for the actual throne here, we're gonna need Darth Maul back actually, because he's the one that takes the throne after killing Pre Vizsla. But it has enough to it. It has enough substance to it. It's not the biggest thing you'll ever see, but I don't think it's too small. They definitely could have crept in a little bit more on the sides, and maybe we would have had a bigger problem. But with this throne, you have a small seating area where you can actually place Darth Maul, of course, an empty stud on the back so that his legs don't get stuck. Definitely one of the better things that LEGO has learned to do over the years with some consistency. So when you go to pull him off, you can pull him off with relative ease. So really like that. And of course, throne very big. You have some stickers at the bottom, which look rather good, add a bit of detail, some brown extra color there. And then you'll notice there's a piece here that can kind of move a little. And so you have to push it in from this side, which I'm going to push out on the other side because there's studs on this side. You can't push it through. You can see a plate here, which allows it to slide right on out. And within here is a hidden blaster. And this whole assembly actually comes out, which I could see proving to be a problem for kids. Like if you're buying this for kids and you don't want them to lose things, like this is something that's very likely going to be lost on a lot of sets 10 years from now when you see these pop up on eBay in a used condition. But for now, if you keep it together, you're going to be just fine. It unfortunately just comes out way too easily, in my opinion, but it's like, whatever. For me, like I'm putting it on the shelf or I'm putting it in a bin for now until I can put it on a shelf and it's not going to get lost. I'm just saying for kids, it very likely could get lost. Now, there are some of the lights on either side of Darth Maul that are represented by these like Lego leaf pieces, and these are actually really surprisingly accurate to what you see in the show with the crystal light pieces or whatever they are, and they actually work out really well. Maybe trans orange would have been better, but at least they're done in orange, and I think that looks really good. I also really appreciate the texturing on the wall with these grill shaped pieces. Really like that. Then the final feature is on this back glass panel where you can see a nice sticker that adds a bit of detail to the texture of it that they have on there, and really all it really does is fall back. I mean, that's all it does. It can fall back, and the reason it falls back, of course, is because the character goes smashing through it or whatever, and just like that. So you can recreate the scene in that sense, and it's kind of loose. I wish you could like lock it into place somehow so it didn't fall back if you like picked it up, but like, I don't know. That to me, I guess, is always just like a small thing, but not really a big deal because you can just put it back as soon as you put it down. It's not like some other sets where things actually break sometimes, so that's not really a problem. It's on a couple of the looser Technic pins, so you have very low friction to be able to drop it down, and like I said, it'll stop there. It's not going to break or anything. It doesn't fall too far. Unfortunately, unlike most other duel sets, Ahsoka doesn't really just have a place to go. Most other duel sets have a bit more of a substantial build, especially for both characters. I mean, Darth Maul's got plenty of space, but Ahsoka herself, not so much. And usually they have platforms to duel upon and something that will swing them around with that sort of functionality. And that's just really not seen here in this set, unfortunately. So for better or for worse, this set is designed conceptually different. I think in this case, it is for better. Just like it's a duel set, but it's not, if that makes sense, compared to what we've gotten previously. This is more of just like a little play scene. And this is like, you know, people would come to me and ask, why don't we just get an Ahsoka Darth Maul battle pack and then the throne thing? This is that set. This is, you know, a lot of people want to make things battle packs. This is exactly what I want to see more from LEGO of just small $10, $20 sets that represent a scene, but they don't have to be overly done into like a battle pack or anything, and we end up with a mess like Kiadi Mundi in a battle pack. That's just my 2 cents on it. Really like the way this one turned out though, and certainly for 20 bucks, despite the piece count, I think the notoriety of the two characters make it worth the money. Although you may certainly disagree, you can leave your comments below if you do. I just think this one turned out really well for a $20 price point, and obviously represents a scene that a lot of people really like in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. So if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button. If you want to check out more of my Summer 2021 set reviews, you can do so on the end screen now.